thanks-filled songs to the Lord, but I love the strumming of the guitar. I wish I could do that. One of these days, probably I'll ask you to come and give me some training. But let's leave me and my ambition or my hopes. Some of you will be laughing at me if I try to sing that song now, but maybe somebody will help me. I have my first guest here, Cliff Nwogu. I will call him another transient like me. He's a trained charter surveyor, but he's also an artist. And today he's talking about climate change. You're welcome to Citylace.
Thank you very much for having me.
So first, why are we running away from building houses that you want to start doing climate change?
Okay. I now know that you were introducing me as a chartered surveyor. You should have asked me anyway. Well, somehow they are all related, as you know. We talk about the environment, and we have the building in the environment. If you don't get the grounds clear in a proper setting so that you will have a very sustainable structure, you might be getting it wrong. Well, today we're all talking about climate change, and way back 10 years ago we started talking about it. But the reality has now come because we can feel the impact. It's not a good thing though. I wouldn't like to be termed as a prophet of doom. No, it's not our portion. But it's good to have an idea, kind of, not premonition I should say, but preempt things. Get prepared, and when such things comes, you'll be able to handle it.
Okay.
So that's why I'm into climate change.
Okay, all right. You were trained here in Nigeria. You were trained also in some other countries outside of Nigeria.
Exactly.
So which one is influencing you? Because in Nigeria, is anybody bothered about climate change?
Recently, I'm sure, because last year we had a lot of catastrophes. There were flooding in many places. It wasn't
Terrible
flooding.
flooding.
I don't like talking about it. I mean, if we had done our homework, clearing the drains and all that, maybe the severity won't be there. So my actually being in this field is because of necessity. I am in it. Tomorrow I might be in an area that the flooding might be taking place. But we don't wish the flooding to happen again. Here in Nigeria, I would say that bringing the two cultures, having lived in Europe, actually I lived in London, and I studied at South Bank University in London. I can see the way they have handled the environment. And down here, we are coming up to that, and I believe that we'll be able to get to that level. And the climate change has come at the same time. What is happening here is happening in other places. So I can say God has put us on the same platform. You're on the same level. Just you would say we have our handset these days. You have iPod, iPad, and whatever you call it. That's exactly what they're having in developed countries. So God is really very benevolent to us.
No, but Cliff,
Yes.
you're almost like a non-Nigerian, because some Nigerians are so sure that in Nigeria nothing like that will ever happen here. I mean, just like you said, God forbid, it will never happen here. So
I'm you.
no, seriously, Cliff.
Yeah.
People don't believe these things can ever touch us.
Well, the thing is, like we all pray that let it not happen in this place. If you look at the position of this country, you know that we are a blessed country. I happened to speak to an expatriate, a German. Immediately I came back from UK about nearly 10 years ago, and he told me that this environment that we are in Nigeria, if we want an exchange, since all of us we want to go to abroad,
So they would
do an exchange. But look at what he told me. They will first of all tackle the weather, the environment, which boils down to the climate change we are talking about. They know what to do. If you look at the environment, you will see the ambience, the way they will plant trees. I mean, look at the streets. Now, I've done a project whereby I talked about planting what they call climbing trees or climbing plants. And one I talked about has a very bold leaf. That instead of you having very big trees that will take time to grow, because it's a climbing plant.
like a vine.
Exactly what you call a vine, and it will give you more canopy within a short time. As we are now developing the roads, that's good infrastructure. Somehow we are building up the areas.
Without?
I'm trying to say when you build up the areas, if you have warm climate, the pavements and all the rest of them, they are likely to reflect some heat, and it is going to have effect on us. Why don't we plant the trees?
as you are doing the pavement.
Yes, if it's going to take time, I'm not trying to
No,
advertise.
don't let's waste time. Just bring it out. Let me
Right.
let's see. But very quickly, you have to do it very quickly, sharply.
Right. I'm not trying to advertise, but I have it at the cover of my book.
The campaign strategy of a sun star
on
climate adaptation.
climate adaptation. If you look at this, the leaf is very bold, and the span can be up to 1 foot. You can imagine
This
how
is a
big.
published book.
Yes, published. Right. So it's something that we all have to.
Okay, now the question is, why move from managing the estates of rich people to now doing artwork to talk about climate? Why did you take that decision?
Right. Sometimes they call me, whatever thing they say that I'm doing right, they say par excellence. I speak French though. What they mean to say that sometimes there are things that you can see that is of necessity. Money is not all. There are things that are necessity. I am in this environment.
Not so they make the money.
Not well. We all need the money for this country. I tell you, if you don't show it that you have the money, nobody will take
talk to
what
you.
you say.
Yeah.
So, in effect, let's put it this way: that we really have to help ourselves when we've already been given the opportunity to do that, and with technology, education. I mean, to any extent that you want today, you can get to. In fact, my last work, the book, sorry, not my last work, the recent book that I'm working on talks about entrepreneurship. And there, I'm looking at whereby the Harvard University, Cambridge, and Oxford, and the rest of them can have a virtual presence in our country. And in the same way, what you have to do then is just to travel and have your convocation in. At their,
but you can study from here.
yeah, by virtual reality,
Yes.
virtual means of communication.
Yes.
So something like that, it's technology, it's making it available to us. So we really have to get on board and follow things because it's God's way of doing things. Time will come, and the time has come, that we are just at the same level. You're not saying, oh, they're too advanced. I'm telling you the kind of phones that we're handling here.
Some of them.
Developed countries, you can imagine the class of
All right, now
people
Clifford,
we have.
before we leave, just tell me your artworks that you have done on about climate.
Yes.
So where do you have them? You have them sold, or you have them displayed, or you have them shared with people?
Right, I have most of my paintings there with me. I tried to see whether I could have an exhibition, even outside the country, even in London where I lived, and it hasn't really materialized, but I hope so. Fingers crossed that God will help me. I have them on Facebook. I have my under the social network, Clifford Nwogu, under Facebook. If you put that, that should be
see some of
able.
the
I mean,
works.
you will see my picture. You can miss me. Then, if you get there, you will see some of my paintings on climate change. And the recent work I've done is a game. Here we have Ludo. I've done something we call Virus Porn Voca.
And it's also on Facebook.
It's on Facebook. Virus Porn Voca is talking about BCC, behavioral change communication in a campaigning for HIV and AIDS. So that way, we get to reach to people and let them know what is happening. And it's coming in what I call transformed media audience, whereby you now get people to really have control of if it's entertainment. For instance, the transformed media audience is going to schools in literature, even in languages, those that are studying languages. If they have a piece, a work, maybe a drama, and we have if you've seen all those advertising billboards, there's one that comes with LED. It's got emotion
On it.
Yes, that's the same thing you use in the olden days theaters when they talk about having the theater
Studio set.
Studio set.
All right.